Last night, on Last Week Tonight, John Oliver called out Meghan McCain for being okay with referring to COVID-19 as the China virus on The View last year.
Yeah, John says that kind of language has a direct correlation to the violence we are seeing against the Asian community now.
Just last year, many were loudly warning that Trump calling COVID names like the China virus was likely to lead to a rise in violence against people of Asian descent, an argument that, at the time, not everyone seemed to find convincing.
I think if the left wants to focus on PC labeling this virus, it is a great way to get Trump reelected. I don't have a problem with people calling it whatever they want. It's a deadly virus that did originate in Wuhan. I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, good. Meghan McCain doesn't have a problem with it. Listen not to the scores of Asian Americans telling everyone that the term is dangerous and offensive. Instead, gather around and take the word of a wealthy white woman who's dressed like she's about to lay off 47 people over Zoom. Now, I will say, McCain posted this week, "Stop Asian Hate" with 3 broken heart emojis, which is a fine sentiment to throw up on Twitter after the fact. But there has to be an understanding that saying, "I don't have a problem with calling it the China virus," is very much giving space for that hate to grow.
Yeah, Nelson does agree that, yeah, it does affect, the violence. Yeah, what do you think of him calling out Meghan like that?
I'm so glad. I remember that clip, and I watched it because I remember Whoopi Goldberg saying, we can't stereotype. This is what you're doing. Listen to what we're actually talking about. And her theory is just, where did it come from? So it doesn't matter what it's called. Of course it matters what you call it. You can't call it the China virus. You can't call it. Every name that Trump gave was just such a racist comment. And the fact that she backed it up. It is interesting to see her that she posted about Stop Asian Hate. What triggered her to do that? I'm not sure. I don't fully understand that.
Right.
What was it to maybe maybe people change their minds. Maybe she's changing her way. Maybe now that he's not the president and maybe she's trying to grow with people. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that maybe her thoughts are changing as well. And we're allowed to do that. So I think for her to speak up this way, maybe it's in a positive way. I don't think she's being negative towards the Asian community, but I'm glad he did that.
Yeah, Joey says Meghan has a role to play on The View. That's why she's there. She's the toughest gig. That's another issue we can talk about another day. Beebing says, I'm not surprised by anything stupid Meghan McCain does. Francis says, Meghan has evolved over the past year, but I see his point. Freaky says, giving space for hate is so true. Lindsay says, John Oliver is 100% in the right. Ali says, a white privileged person doesn't see the repercussions of the words, what's new. Yazzie says, she was off The View today. Maybe she got in trouble. I highly doubt that. Ashraf says, I'm so over Meghan McCain. She's so racist, and I'm glad that John called her out. Yeah, so she wasn't on The View today to respond to this. She hasn't responded on social media. But yeah, I mean, we saw it happen. I have to say his name again, but Trump. When he was doing these press conferences, and he's very specific, saying the China virus. Like, some people might just think, yeah, well, it's from China. It's okay to call it that. That was a dog whistle to his supporters and the people that we've seen over the 4 years that they get enabled to do things, to go push people down the streets. There was absolutely some dog whistling going on. So, yeah, there's no need to do it. And, yeah, like, words matter. It's a little thing. It's a tiny thing, but that started to plant the seed. I can't remember when Trump started to do that, but that started to plant the seed to really the other. Once again, Trump is all about the other. Fear the other. It's the other's fault. The other. And in this circumstance, the other became the Asian community.
Yeah, and most of her followers are Trump supporters. So I kind of sat back and I'm like trying to think different ways of why she's doing it. At the same time, she did put something up that's against her followers, right? Like.
Right.
It's interesting. And so is she giving a positive perspective on this and educating her followers? I'm trying here, Graham, but I'm thinking maybe she did it in a way to be, try to help the situation. But man, it's just it's so sad. It really, really is sad.
Yeah. Like Asantoa says, it's from China, though. No, that's true. But I mean, we all know how Trump said it. Like we all know how Trump, said China virus. Like we know what he was really doing there. He's putting a label and calling the Asian community out. So yeah, just terrible. So yeah, it was interesting that John chose Meghan McCain because that's the thing. Meghan McCain also gets a lot of attention, right? So John Oliver knew what he was doing to go after Meghan McCain. So I'm interested to see if she does reply.